Hi, Julian, welcome. And please make sure you are logged into Zoom using your first and the last name, okay? And today we are going to work on solving multi-step equations and inequalities. So this is an important skill because in real life, like problems usually take more than one step to solve. So last time we talked about one-step equalities and inequalities. So today we talk about the multi-step. And our goal, so I hope everyone by the end of class, you should be able to first read a word problem and understand what is happening, okay? And write a multi-step equation or inequality. And thirdly, use a table or graph to help you visualize the problem and solve the multi-step equation or inequality correctly. The lastly, and you can explain what your answer means in the real world. Okay. Okay, so let's do a quickly warm up with the problem, and we also practice last class. Okay, so um, and I'm gonna give you guys maybe 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes, and you can send in your answer on the chat, and later when you finish, and let's check together. Okay, and I want some volunteers to tell me how do you think and explain the steps for me. Okay, so 3 minutes. And share in the class. Is there any volunteer want to share? If there's no volunteer, I'm gonna use the wheel of names and randomly call your name. Is there any volunteer? Give me a thumbs up. Or yeah, can you share the answer? It's okay. Like don't. And thank you for sending the answer on the chat. Let me open you. Oh, sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, so you say I think it's 8, but I'm not sure because I don't know if I have to do something else. Okay, so let's check together with 8. Okay, thank you for sharing your thoughts and I appreciate it. So let's see together. Okay, so the movie theater charge $10 per ticket, right? And a $6 service fee. So a family will best maybe max tickets and the total cost is $86. So let's let's write an equation. So we already the question already gave us the variable, right? It's X tickets. So we can think about how many tickets did they buy. Okay, let me write down here. Oh, give me 1 sec. Oh, so it's $10 per ticket, right? And we bought X ticket, so 10 times X. And we also have a service fee, right? So which means we need to add a service fee. So plus 6, okay? And equals total cost is $86. Okay, so that's the equation. Does anyone have any question about the equation? Okay, and then we solve this equation together. So we subtract 6 from both sides. Okay, so 10x equals 80. And then we divide both sides by 10. So we got the answer is x equals what? 8. Yeah, so you did really good, Yemi. So we got 8. So a family buy 8 tickets, okay? Okay, is there anyone has any question? Does anyone have any questions? It's all good? Okay, good job. So let's move on the next one. Okay. Just 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes. Julian, can you share your answer to us? Think, okay, Julian says 45 students. How do you think? Can you explain more, like where you get 45 students? A class runs 3 buses, and each bus costs $50 plus $20 per student, right? And the total cost is $1,050. So how many students are on each bus? So for this question, the question didn't give us the variable, right? So the variable is the students, the number of students, right? So we can make like X. It's the number of students. And uh okay. Okay. And then so let's do this first. So let's write the expression for one bus first. So which means we got cost of the one bus is $50 plus 20 per students, right? So $20 times, and the number of students is X, so we times X. Okay, so this is the cost of one bus. And then, because the question is like three buses, right? So three buses. So we need to times the three. So 3 times 50 plus 20X, and then equals the total cost is 1050, right? And then you calculate this equation. So we divided 3 by on the both sides, and we got, let me do a calculator for quickly. So 1050, okay. So we got, let me write down here, 50 plus 20x equals 350, and then we subtract 50 on both sides. So 20x equals 300, right? And then x equals, so 300 divided 20. Actually, we got the 15. Is that correct? So let's do, let me check the answer. So x equals 15. And 15 times 20 plus 50 and times 3. Okay. So x equals to 15. So how many students on each bus? Is 15 students. Okay. Either does anyone have question about this problem? Okay. So let's move on. Okay. So today let's talk about a real life problem. Okay. So 3,300 feet below sea level, and then it can ascend to the surface at a rate of 650 feet per minute, right? So time is changing, right? And the depth is changing. And then can anyone tell me which is independent quantity and which is dependent quantity? How do you feel? Which one is independent and which one is dependent? And it's in feet. So anytime we say T, which means we are talking about the time, okay? We are talking about the minutes. And anytime we say the D, we are talking about the how deep the submarine is. So it's the depth, which is in feet, okay? So just like we pick the initial letters, okay? T and D. Okay, so and then can anyone, okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. So can anyone tell me at time 0, where is the submarine? Can you understand my question? So at time 0, so at the beginning, where is the submarine? Okay, so it's because it's below the sea level, right? So how do you feel? How do you think? Is it positive or negative? Can anyone? Okay, if you think it's positive, and can you show me your finger like 1? And if you think it's sorry, one more time. If you think it's positive, can you show the finger like 1? And if you think the negative, can you show me the finger like 2? 1 or 2, how do you think? So for the 3,300 feet, it's positive or negative? 1 or 2? Do you have any thoughts? Okay, great. I already saw some answer. Okay, so because it's below the sea level, right? So which means it's yes, it's going down. So it's the negative number, okay? It's a negative number because it's below the sea level. And thank you for participating. Okay, I already saw some answer. Thank you for that. And so which means the D, right? D is depth. D equals 3300 because it's below the sea level. So it's a negative number. So we add minus. Okay, at the beginning. So minus 3300. And when T, the time, add 0. Okay. So does anyone have question about this part? So why is negative 3300 when T at 0 time? Okay. So this is our starting point. Okay. So right now, can anyone tell me what happens every minute? What happens every minute? So right now, let's start 0, right? T is 0. How about T equals 1, 2, 3? What happens every minute? How do you think? And also you can welcome to share your answers on the chat box, or you can just um, tell me on the class. Yeah. How do you feel? Okay. So actually, so when the times change, every minute change, so the submarine it goes up. It goes up like 650 feet, right? Going up means the depth is increasing. Okay. So you can look at here at the rate of the 650 feet per minute. Okay. So which means our rate of change equals plus. So it's positive number, okay? 650 feet per minute. So this is our rate of change. Okay. And then we combine those information together. So the starting point and is the minus number, is a negative number, and then our rate of change is positive number, right? So that's equals where we start and plus how much it changes over time. So and then we can write down our equation. Okay, let me write down here. So we got the D, the equals the depth equals the minus 30, the negative 3300 and plus 650 and times 30, the times. Okay. So does this equation make sense? Like when t equals 0, like we can plug into, and then we got the 6300, right? Okay. So this is our final equation. And then right now, I want you to test our equation using a table. Okay. Did anyone have any question? Okay. So we just move on. Okay. So, and we are not guessing, we are using the equation and using the table to calculate that. Here, so when times equals 0, and we write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so which means the from the 1 minute until the 5 minutes. Okay, so and then let's do. And then this is for the x, which means the times, the minutes, for the y, which means the feet, the depth. So when times equals 0, we got the negative number, 3300, right? And when times equals 1, and remember our equation is what? It's a d equals 3300 and plus 650 times t. Okay, this is our equation. Okay, this is negative number. Okay, remember that. So, and we plug the t equals 1 to plug in, and then we got the answer is minus 2600. Okay, and when times equals 2, okay, we got the answer is minus 2000. Okay, and when times equals 3, we got answer is minus 1350. Times 4, we got answer is minus 700, and when times equal 5, we got answer minus 50. Okay, can anyone follow me? You can use the calculator to quickly calculate that. Okay, so far, do you have any questions about table, like why the number is showing like that? Okay, so please check your answer with me, okay, the table. If you have any question, just send on the chat, okay, and we can stop here to explain that. So all so far all is a negative number, and you can see on the graph here, right? So the table shows points, right? So the graph just shows the same information just visually, and then we can try to uh connect them together. Oh, sorry. So use the line. right? Can you see clear? Oh, okay. So on the horizontal axis, okay, this is means time, and on the vertical axis, this is means depth, right? So time is on the x and the depth is on the y. So we just see the point here. You can see that. So we got a 5 dot, okay, and connect them become the straight line. So take a look at this graph, and can anyone tell me is this line going up or going down? And just give me a thumbs up or down. Like going up, it's thumbs up, and going down, just thumbs down. Okay. Just take a look at this graph. Ooh. Okay, excellent. So I already saw the mountain. So it's going up, right? So which means this line is going up. Okay, and why this line is going up? Because the depth is increasing, right? So also, can anyone tell me, is this slope positive or negative? Also give me a thumbs up or down. The slope. Do you know the meaning? Slope. It's positive or negative. It's also shown on this graph, okay? Yes. The slope is positive, right? Because the depth is increasing by 650 feet each minute, right? You see, it's increasing, okay? Okay, so let's go back our question. Let me stop. Okay, so right now, try to write and solve an inequality to determine how long it takes for the submarine to be above like 1,000 feet below the sea level. Okay, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to think about this question and let's talk together. And still remember our equation. I'm gonna write down here. So D, okay, equals minus 3,300 plus 65,650 times T. Okay. So this is our equation, and right now we need to write an inequality. Okay, so let's look at this equation together. So, um, okay, so here's some like keywords, right? So above, right? Above, which means it's greater than, and 1,000 feet below sea level, which means it's because it's below sea level, right? So it's minus 1,000. Okay, oh man, it's so hard to write down here. So it's minus 1,000. So for here, we can write down our equation inequality. So which means the D is greater than minus 1,000. And then D equals, we insert this. Okay. And then use your calculator to calculate that and know what's the final answer about T. So at the end, we got the T, okay, because the time is a little bit limit. So I just put it here, okay, and you can calculate by yourself after class. So the T at the end, if you use the calculator, is greater than 3.54 minutes, okay? Okay, so can anyone explain what your solution means in this situation? Like what does it mean about T is greater than 3.54? Uh, can anyone tell me? Okay. Okay, so because after about 3.5 minutes, the submarine is above like 1,000 feet below the sea level. Okay, that's what I mean about 3.5 minutes. Okay, so this is our question. And here's for the individual task for you to give you 2 minutes and try to write down by yourself, okay? The D equal the minus. So remember the equation, okay? We use the same information as before. Okay, once you got your answer, can you send me on the chat, please? And think about what does mean like below. Okay, it's greater than or less than, and also which means it's a negative number, right? So it's minus 2,000, and below is less than, right? Before the question is above, so it's greater than. So right now it's less than. So below it means less than. So we got the D is less than minus 2000. Okay, and then we can calculate this, okay, by yourself. And I just show you the final answer because we don't have much time, and you can check your answer after class. So it's minus. Okay, and then, oh, sorry. And then we got the answer. Final answer is T is less than 2. Okay, so also same here. We need to explain like what does this mean? Like T is less than 2. Okay, so the submarine is below 2,000 feet below sea level for the first 2 minutes of its ascent. Okay. Okay, and sorry, I'm not giving you too much time to solve this individual task and try to spend more time after class. Okay, and because the time limit, so I'm not going to do the blue kid game for you to practice. Maybe in next class, and you can practice this. Okay, so all right, and really good job, everyone, and thank you for your hard work and participation, and thank you everyone to send me your answer on the chat, and you all did really good job. Okay, and then happy Valentine's Day. Okay, Saturday. So hope you have a really great weekend and